Evil mode on.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the continuation of the madness, and it's gonna get even madder and crazier today because this is the first day of the Automation Star conference in. I was gonna say Edinburgh. No, that's I'm rewinding.
That's up to us.
Amsterdam. We're in the Netherlands, and we keep bringing all the awesome presenters and all the energy. And we decided now to gang up. As I was mentioning, Linda is gonna be helping me. Hello, Linda.
Hello,
Are you ready?
I am.
No. And
I'm scared.
and our victim of the, interviewee of the day, our amiga Almudena Vivanco, coming from Spain. Almudena, how are you?
Now I am scared.
Don't be afraid. Be
No,
very
no,
afraid.
no. I'm so happy to be here.
So before we get into the fun, because I know this is going to be a fun episode and lots of madness going on, Almudena, would you mind sharing with the audience who are you, what do you do, that why are you here,
I
what
don't
makes
even,
you special?
I don't even know what I do. It's fake it until you make it. But for the last 23 years, I've been working on performance in different disciplines. First in QA, then like MI to.
No, I'm just
Okay.
checking. I think
So first
you were muted. Okay,
I
yeah.
was muted. So shall I start again?
Yeah, please.
Yes, please.
You don't know
So
what you do.
I was saying that I'm really scared to be here around you.
Why? We don't fight.
No, I'm really
Hard?
excited.
Yet.
Really, really glad to be here. And for the last 23 years, I've been working on performance. First, I was in the QA discipline.
But she's a deserter now.
Yeah, I'm a traitor.
She left
Even
us.
worse, I'm a traitor, and I went to the dark side of the DevOps. So right now, I'm like a sort of a site reliability engineering, like breaking stuff.
I was gonna say EU, no, but that's cool
No,
as
that's
well. That's
cool.
cool. That's cool.
Like they allow me to break production sometimes, so it's fun. To chaos engineering, resilience testing, breaking stuff for fun.
Yeah.
It's cool.
It's gonna be so interesting. But yeah, the SRE, chaos engineering, all that is really. I don't know. Do you think more QAs should embrace that?
I think everyone should embrace it.
Well,
Everyone. It's not a task. It's a way of thinking. So one of my last talks is that you are gonna fail at some point. You are always going to fail. So you have to treat failure like a feature. So you have to know how it is going to fail, when it's going to fail, what are the symptoms that you will have when you're failing. And you have to treat it like a feature and just try to minimize the impact of the failure. So it's not only a QA, it's not only a product or business task, it's a task for everyone. That's you have to measure the impact in production, in the product, in the solution, in the user, and that's something for everyone. I would say, right.
I'm curious because Linda didn't seem so convinced about that.
I'm just playing with the idea in my head, and I do think you're right now that I've thought about it. Because like 15 years ago, we used to think that testing was a separate action, but now we know that quality is built in by making it part of the whole process, and this is the same for these activities.
I
Yeah.
think that the big step, the change of mind is like to believe that an outage, a failure is a feature
Yes.
itself, and that you have to deal with that.
Yeah, because it will happen.
It will happen for sure,
Yes.
100%. So it's a feature that you have to be aware of, that you have to cope with.
You have to test the fails.
You have to test it, yeah.
Yes, I like that.
I like it that as well. Like at the first a little bit like Linda, but it makes sense, right? That
Yeah.
I feel uneasy because it's this mindset of fail fast and go further. I think I feel bad because it's like the tech bros speech that they have adopted, and it's not the best spin on it. But that's the point, that you find the defect quickly, that you're prepared for all the contingencies, and it's an interesting perspective from QA. QA, you're trying that they don't happen.
Yeah.
that the problems to stop to catch the defect at the earliest. But you're like, no, make the defects happen. Let's see, but be ready for them.
Yeah.
Make it fail.
Make it fail.
Yeah.
And
Make it fail so you know how to fix it.
Yes.
If you don't confront the failure in early stages, you don't know how to fix it.
Yeah.
How many times we have to deal in production with an outage due to something else, due to a third party, due to the cloud provider, and you don't know how to react because you haven't done it before, because you haven't done a switchover of a database, because you haven't done a failover of a region that you are an outage in your cloud provider, because you don't know how to provision a full region of your product. Why don't you do it in early stages?
Yeah.
You can do it. You have the tools.
So why don't people?
Usually they say the costs
Yeah.
or the time, but I think that it prevents costs when you train your team and your solution to react fast. You have your alert management to quickly react against a failure, and you have your team to be aware of those alerts that are significant. That's the hard part of alerting. And they react fast and they know how to deal with it because they have done it before. So they know that, okay, this outage is cloud provider. I need to create a new region. So I just run this Terraform, this pipeline. I will provision a new region fast in somewhere else that has no problems of network or whatever. Like last two outages in Amazon Web Services and in Azure, like in the same week.
Yeah.
So you have to deal with that.
but it's interesting when you bring the cost, because that also why in the past organizations were like, no, no, we're not doing that QA thing. It's very expensive,
Yeah.
and if we catch the defects, they don't happen, and then what's the point? And then we just wasted money, right? And it's like AWS, the breakdown that they had not long ago. Have you heard like the suing and all the situation that the
No.
cost that really happened out of that?
Yeah.
Some
No.
organizations that could not share files or send or
Yeah.
lost shipments, etc., and they
Yeah.
got sued. Amazon got sued because of that outage.
Yeah.
Are you
Well, they
like,
have an SLA for sure.
I mean, Amazon is one of the organizations that really checks and tries their best to not to have those outages and problems. But some smaller organizations that, like Linda was asking, like, why not? Why they are?
Usually it's fear of change. And the other thing is the mindset. Is what you said. The QA is trying to detect the defects before going live, and we are treating the outages and the defects like a feature. So it's like a change of mindset, and that's sometimes it takes time to change people's mindset, to change the stakeholders' mindset.
What?
I don't want an outage, but you will have one. No, no, but I don't want an
Not all of
outage.
them know.
Yeah, that's a problem that they don't know.
What would you recommend people to convince management for those situations? Because most
pull,
of
pull off the cable. pull out the cable.
that's a, I mean, that's a little Machiavellian, but I support that. That I never said that. I mean, but I mean, that's a very good technique. I'm not sure if I endorse it legally
No, 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 no. You cannot do
here.
that.
No, but you're right. And most of the management organizations, they only agree to start to do that investment because it's an investment until they are burned.
Or when Amazon or Azure just has an outage and they realize that they need to do something, like going multi-cloud or to have two regions, redundancy, your replication, all that kind of stuff.
Or not only AWS
Or
and have
not,
the
yeah,
other cloud
multi-cloud that you
provider.
have, or hybrid, you go on premise and then you have your critical path or your critical data are on premise and then you have the other stuff on the cloud provider. That actually we are dealing in Europe, we are dealing with something else, that it's sovereignty of the data, that all those cloud providers are American companies, and we have like a European
GDPR
Union.
regulation.
Yeah, we have another regulation. We need to have the sovereignty of the data, so we need to have on premise and on a European cloud provider. your data. So we have some of I don't know, but some scenarios that we have to cope with and to know about
Yeah.
sometimes. And the cloud providers, Amazon, Azure, Google, they do it simple just to have an excuse to run chaos. They're gonna fail for sure
Yeah, yeah.
at some
How do
point.
you predict the failures?
How do you predict the failures? Uh, there's one that you can usually predict. That is before Black Friday, Singles Day.
Yeah.
All the cloud providers,
It's coming up very soon.
they are,
Yeah.
yeah, they are trying to fix their infrastructure just before the companies that they are hosting are going to launch their products or their campaigns. So you know that just before Black Friday, just before November, the cloud providers are going to do some maintenance and they can do some they can do some errors. Around September, usually, in my experience, the last 7 years, around September, October, Azure is always having some issues in databases, networking, that kind of stuff, and Amazon itself. But it's of course it's not usual. Usually, you don't have an outage like the last one that affects everyone, the
Because
DNS
the
one.
AWS one was random.
Yeah, yeah.
It was not
Usually,
like
you have like a couple of services, like databases in West Europe or databases or Cosmos DB only in North Europe the region. They are doing stuff always because they are doing their jobs, that is maintain the infrastructure.
Yeah.
So you know that they are going to maintain everything. They are going to fix or try to fix everything just before your campaigns, Christmas, Black Friday. So around September, October, there's that rumor around the noise of someone doing stuff.
Yeah.
because you can tell on some of the big dates. Uh, so the cloud providers is not like an infinite. They may say it's infinite and you can have as much as, but they get overwhelmed. They reach the limits.
Yep.
We have heard or maybe done some load tests that reach some AWS limits. And if you are an unlucky organization, you are not under a Black Friday situation, but your cloud neighbor inside of that box is, you will feel it. And that's something that you gotta be prepared for, looking into what
Yeah.
is gonna happen when this sale, super big store, and I'm a small store or like, I don't know, a streamer that I have my server there, it's gonna be probably not down, but really, really slow on those days and struggling or deprioritized because AWS wants to
Yeah, because
pay
they have.
attention to the biggest ones.
Yeah.
But now, this is on one hand management. Did you have any interesting transitions from QA, performance, etc., when you had to go with your team and teach them and get that switch for them as well and for you
Yeah.
from QA to
So for me, I think it was a natural movement because I was transitioning from developer to QA automation, if you could say so. A test partner, do you remember? CompuWare test partner, like, woohoo, a blast from the past. From there,
CompuWare? That's a name I have not heard in
CompuWare,
ages.
CompuWare and Siwi,
Yeah.
Test Siwi, or Borland Siwi. So it was a natural movement, and I went to performance somehow. So a manager just came and said, "You like math, right? You go for performance. That's it." Yeah, it was like that.
You like
Um,
math? You go
you
performance
performance,
tests?
yeah.
Interesting.
And then when I was first a QA, still performer, doing some tests, and then I started just trying to figure out what was happening. Not only just running the test and say, okay, this is slow, no, but why is this? This is going slow. Why this is having issues, performance issues. So I was going deep and deep and deeper into the infrastructure. That point it was JBoss.
Yeah, the
JBoss and
JBoss.
Oracle, and I was like into databases to understand the database itself, the share, the share memory, or the cache in the database, the partitions, the queries, that kind of stuff, and then the Java virtual machine in JBoss, the
But from
GMX.
so that curiosity got you
That
into
curiosity
what are the points that
got
are.
me into infrastructure. Then my boss at that point moved me from QA to systems because it was like, I cannot teach you anymore. I think that better being with the people of systems, because
So
they are the ones asking you all the time. They were like the stakeholders, like
it
what's
sounds
going
to
to
me like
happen.
we should then blame this boss.
Yeah,
He
I
or
think
she,
he
he was
Jordi.
responsible for you switching
But I think that
because
he was like aware that he was what was the limitations. So the people asking me all the time that at that point you have to invest. It was 6 months ahead. You have a forecast to ask for a machine, for ask for memory or CPU for your Oracle.
the server
You
in
have
the basement.
a server in the basement. We have 24 gancitos. We have 24 servers, and we know that we had those. Not more. They weren't virtual. They were physical ones. You have a cable. You go to the data center. You switched on, and they were the ones asking me all the time how much CPU I need, how much memory I need.
Do you think that people nowadays have to, or would you recommend the audience to get in this track to start learning
Yeah, I
a
would
little
say
bit on
that
it?
performance testing is dead. Sorry,
No, 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 no.
performance
I do
testing
agree
is
because
dead.
it eventually has to evolve to that place, but not
Yeah,
everybody's a performance
now
tester.
it's performance engineering. Now it's not related to speed or scalability, because we are cloud native. We are in the cloud. It's a slider. It's
Oh, that's a
elastic.
big statement.
Yeah, it's elastic. Well, not everyone, but well,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
you
yeah,
know what I mean. That
yeah, yeah.
it's cheaper. You don't have to do a forecast 6 months ahead. You can just buy memory. You can buy whatever you want and provision it really fast. It's not 20 years ago.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Wait 6 months for
So
the new server to
yeah,
come by,
you don't
and
have
man.
to do that. So the discipline turned into performance engineering, into observability, I would say. I remember that the first time in 2014, I was like with the service delivery guys, with the operation guys. They were asking me. I was running the tests in a pre-production environment. I was getting my dashboards, my queries, my PromQLs, not PromQL at that point, but graphite,
Graphite.
graphite, and that kind of stuff. And I was like giving them what I was measuring and how I was measuring it. So they got all the dashboards in Nagios, all the dashboards. They have everything. That was like my first approach to observability, like working with the
Exposure.
operations. Yeah, working with the operations guys.
So would you? And
No,
this is an interesting because
that's the
I'm
guy.
gonna align it with your talk. Um, do you think every tester should understand get into observability, elasticity, all these terms nowadays?
That is your talk as well.
In part,
Oh, I see
You
another
have to
talk
choose one of us.
yeah.
being plugged.
For the people tuning in, we have the talk at the same time.
Yeah,
We're not talking exactly the same things, but they are aligned
yeah.
because what you're going to be presenting. What's the title of your talk?
Uh, K6. It's the testing a story between K6 and K8. That is Kubernetes.
Kubernetes. K8s. Yeah, it's
Yeah, K8.
for some people like the K8s. What was that? But yeah, what you are going to be presenting, you cannot embrace without good observability, without
Yeah.
understanding what is happening. Do you think testers, QA engineers in general, need to understand Kubernetes?
They need to understand the infrastructure they are running the solution on. That's
I
the
mean,
main
not
thing.
Kubernetes only, but
Not
the
Kubernetes, but
type of
they need to understand where they are running their product. If you are running it in a cloud, I don't know, web app, AAC2, whatever they want, they have to understand how that feature is working, how that product that the cloud provider is providing them,
Mhm.
it's working. Because that means that you need to understand how it's going to auto heal, how it's going to auto scale, how it's going to deal with errors or not.
And I'm asking because I'm not sure if that's still the case for many people in QA, but for a long while, I wouldn't even know how to get into AWS or how to whatever. And I was a performance engineer, quote unquote. Uh, and it was like really late into the game uh, that I learned how to get into this AWS thing that everybody was using. And I was just like a black box testing from afar or just.
It's what I said. You cannot the output of the test of your performance test is not speed anymore. It's not only that you are Ah, you're
But I don't
fast.
think only, and we're
It's not
gonna get
anymore.
funny into the non-functionals because
Oof, I
don't call
hated
them
that. Don't call it.
non-functionals, please.
Uh,
Because a hamburger is not functional.
yeah.
Depending on who you ask, it's very functional.
No, no, no.
But it's even, I think QA in general gotta understand some of these because the testing game with cloud, with elasticity, and with AI is very different now.
Yeah, yeah, it's really, really different. It's not when you go with a cable to the data center and plug in. It's not
Yeah.
the same. It's you are not dealing with only 26, 24 servers that you got it there.
No,
You
but
are,
if you are running a functional test and the instance is gone, you
yeah, yeah,
finish with
yeah.
the test, and then
It
what do you do?
changes. It changes from one instance to one pod to another because they are cattle now. They can change. They can move. You
And the
have,
functional
yeah.
defect,
It's like that. It's
you
like
logged in, and how you
yeah.
reproduce it because the instance is gone.
One of the last defects that we have, it was a misconfiguration in the stream, on the stream server on NATS IO. And it was because we have every single week, GCP, Google Cloud Provider, was like moving, draining the nodes from our Kubernetes cluster. That wasn't happening in Azure. So it was an error that we were not aware of. So when we saw it, the NATS was changing from three. So you have a cluster of three nodes of three instances of nuts of streams, and it was being moved to another pod to another node, and we didn't know how it behaved. Actually, we have it misconfigured, so it was producing errors.
That
So
behavior, that different
yeah,
behavior, was
that wasn't performance.
it wasn't
It
performance. And I was
wasn't.
gonna ask, do
It's
you?
functional.
But if you ask, do you think it's functional, Lisa? As a functional
So the
engineer
stream
tester,
was being lost in this process of
Yeah.
changing node. It's
I,
functional.
I would probably look at it as functional until I could find evidence of otherwise. But
sound
that's what I tend to do with most errors that I find. I
yeah.
try to prove that they're functional, and when they're proven not to be, then I'm just trying to find out.
But an error
You know
due
what?
to the infrastructure, is it functional or not functional?
Could
It's
be
gray.
integration.
Yeah, I
What, integration is your infrastructure. It's not
yes,
integration. You're not integrating with anything.
But it was some parameter that was not
No, it's a
well.
misconfiguration, but
It's not.
from your product.
yeah, I do try to understand my infrastructure, but
Yeah.
when I don't have the knowledge, I do ask questions about it to the people that have the knowledge, and not to understand it because it's usually too much of a black box for me to understand fully. But I try to get the
So
knowledge.
yeah, that was the reason and the natural movement of a performance engineer to be moved more and more and more towards Azure,
Yeah,
to DevOps, site reliability engineering, because the people were asking those questions: that why is this happening? If I drain a node, if I move the pods, if I
All
have
the
an
silly, but
overflow on the JVM.
those are all the things that as QAs. What if I put like an emoji in a text box? What if I? But the developers were like, "Oh, you're always trying to make me cry," or my developers don't talk like that. Don't get offended. But it's something that we always had to be in the lookup for QA people in general. This is QA mindset, looking for what might break
Yeah.
with our expertise, with our understanding.
So there's a
We're no, just and we need to wrap it up as well
yeah.
because we went over for a little bit already. But in this way, Almudena, to wrap up a little bit the conversation for the audience that are probably not performance engineers, because a performance engineer will feel the pain and they know, and
Yeah,
yeah,
I
yeah, we
know.
need to look under the hood and know what is happening. But the rest of the QA community, what would you tell them? Give them a recommendation.
For me, it's always asking yourself stuff. So, from a QA perspective, for example, you said like you fill up at the daytime, right? The date formats.
Oh,
That's a challenge always in QA that you have. Oh, okay, I have this field. I will put a date. What would happen if you change the date of your machines? You have a school clock that will affect your solution. So it's the same. Basically, you have to ask yourself questions. But in the other way, you have to know what you don't know. So I mean that the in Heisenberg, incertidumbre,
uncertainty principle.
yeah, for it's uncertainty. You have to remove the uncertainty in your infrastructure. So as a QA, what would happen if I change this machine? What would happen if I just switch off this? What would happen if I cut something out
Yeah.
of the infrastructure? Because the solution, your product, is not only software, it's software on something that is running it. And you
I
have
will.
to be aware of that.
I would agree, and everybody, please take Almudena recommendation. Think of the what ifs, but not only on what you have in front of you, but think a little behind, like further, under the curtain. What if? What happens if I pull the curtain? Will it fall down or
Yeah.
something like that? Uh, Probably will. True story. But please pay attention to these recommendations. It's really important that as QA engineers, we widen up our perspective. It's not like you have to be a developer, you have to get into infrastructure, but having kind of like an understanding of what is happening, or just a little bit like checking what's up in the curtain and be ready for those situations. Now, to wrap up, Almudena, I know that you have a few more adventures coming up this year. Would you mind sharing quickly so that?
So this week, well, tomorrow I will be speaking here. On Wednesday, I will be in Nerdearla, Spain, talking about Kubernetes, not testing, but Kubernetes. And on Friday, I will be where I will be on Friday. On NetCoreConf in Microsoft Iberia in Spain, I was Madrid, talking about service level objectives,
Mhm.
observability itself, basically. Then I will be in Testbusters Vienna, Wien, in December, 2nd of December, and then I will be in DevOps Munich, talking about observability, high cardinality of stuff.
It's a very full end of the year. Really, really.
Yes.
Nice. Yeah.
And she's taking it easy, eh? Believe it or not, she's taking it easy.
Yeah, this year I've been taking it easy.
So, if people want to follow up with all these adventures that you have coming up, where can they get in touch with you? Follow up with what you're doing. How
And
can they find you?
I forgot one important one
Okay.
that is really important for every one of us. That is measuring the carbon print
Oh yeah.
on our solutions. The Sustainability Day of the CNCF in Barcelona that is hosted in now in my office, so it's hosted by myself.
tuned.
26th of November in Lidl office in Barcelona
Barcelona.
about carbon print, and that's really important for everyone. How can you stay in touch with me? LinkedIn. I would
There in
say,
the screen.
yeah, I would say Twitter, but not anymore.
Who uses
Um,
that anymore? Ew.
no, Twitter, no.
And go to all the talks.
Go to the talks
Yes.
and my podcast. That's always in Spanish, but it's Señoras que. That is ladies that do stuff sometimes because I'm of age. And I try to talk to women that do stuff.
You should do like an English version.
An English version. Yeah, well, but at the I have
A little,
enough
a
with
little.
I have enough with the Spanish one.
Señoras qué, que a veces.
Que a veces, señoras que a veces. Ladies that sometimes do stuff.
Okay, so everybody, check Almudena's LinkedIn, check her podcast if you want to practice your español, and stay tuned because she's gonna be presenting in lots of places. If you're around, please go attend the talk and widen up your panoramas, your perspectives, because it's not only the front end and text in the black box. Ask people, like Linda was saying, like, hey, is this like this type of this? Is from here? Get curious and get a little bit mischievous. Like, pull this break.
Break stuff.
Good laugh
Break
right away.
stuff.
Break everything.
Break everything. No, but there's a trick. You break everything to build it again.
Yeah, that's it.
And then-
That's a trick.
And then you break everything.
Yeah.
Yes.
You gotta figure out how to put it together. It's like disassembling the watch just because no. You gotta put it
Yeah.
back. Okay, Almudena, thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
We
Thank
had
you.
so much fun, Linda, and everybody. This was Almudena. We got carried away quite a bit.
Sorry.
That happens here, yeah. And stay tuned because we have still a few more interviews happening today. The day is not yet over. This is the first day of Automation Star 2025 in Amsterdam. Amsterdam. I got it right this time. So stay tuned. We'll be back in a little bit. For now, Leandro, Almudena, and Linda out. Adios. Everybody.
Adios.
Auf Wiedersehen.